The world appears to be standing once again at a dangerous crossroads, a point where a single alleged attack, a single statement, or even a single misunderstanding could dramatically alter the direction of global politics. The ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine has now taken a new and highly sensitive turn, following a striking claim made by Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov. According to Lavrov, Ukraine attempted to attack the state, residence of Russian President Vladimir Putin in the Novgorod region using long-range drones. This claim, if proven accurate, would represent one of the most serious escalations since the conflict began. But even as an allegation, it has already sent shockwaves far beyond Moscow and Kiev, reaching Washington, European capitals, and international diplomatic circles. The key question now is not only whether this alleged attack actually occurred, but also what it means for the future of the war, for diplomatic efforts, and for global stability. Let us examine the situation in detail.
Speaking on Monday,
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated that Ukraine carried out what he described as a reckless and dangerous attempt to strike President Vladimir Putin's state residence. According to Lavrov, the incident took place on December 28 and 29. The alleged target was located in Russia's Novgorod region, an area considered highly secure and far from the front lines of active combat. Lavrov claimed that Ukraine launched as many as 91 long-range drones toward the residence. This number immediately drew attention, as it suggests a large-scale and carefully coordinated operation, rather than an isolated or symbolic act. Russian authorities say all 91 drones were intercepted and destroyed by Russia's air defense systems before they could reach their target. No damage was reported to the residence, and there were no casualties. President Putin himself was unharmed. Despite the lack of physical damage, the political and psychological implications of such a claim are enormous. Lavrov described the alleged attack as an act of state terrorism, one of the strongest terms used in international relations. He warned that such actions would not go unanswered. These words are significant. When a senior Russian official uses language like this, it signals that Moscow may consider adjusting not only its military posture but also its diplomatic strategy. Lavrov further stated that Russia would review its negotiating position in light of the alleged incident. This is particularly notable because recent months have seen increasing speculation about possible diplomatic initiatives or back-channel talks aimed at reducing tensions or even exploring ceasefire options. If Moscow hardens its position, those prospects could be severely damaged. To understand the gravity of this claim, it is important to consider the symbolic importance of the alleged target. A president's official residence is not merely a building. It represents the sovereignty, authority, and leadership of the state. An attempt, real or alleged, to strike such a location is often interpreted as a direct challenge to the nation itself. In international law and diplomatic norms, targeting a head of state carries severe implications. That is why Lavrov's use of the phrase state terrorism is being closely analyzed by experts and observers. However, it is equally important to note that Russia has not yet publicly released
detailed evidence to independently
verify the claim. No drone debris, satellite imagery, or third-party confirmations have been presented at the time of this statement. Ukraine, for its part, has not immediately confirmed or denied the allegation. In the past, Ukrainian officials have frequently dismissed Russian claims as propaganda designed to justify further military escalation. Kiev has often accused Moscow of using dramatic allegations to shape domestic opinion and influence international perceptions. Because of this history, many analysts are urging caution. They stress the importance of independent verification before drawing conclusions. In modern conflicts, information warfare plays a critical role, and narratives can be as powerful as missiles or drones. Military experts point out that deploying 91 long-range drones would require significant planning, coordination, and resources. If such an operation took place, it would suggest a high level of capability and intent. At the same time, Russia's claim that all drones were intercepted also serves another purpose. It reinforces Moscow's message that its air defense systems remain effective and capable of protecting even the most sensitive locations. This dual narrative, threat and strength, is a common feature of wartime communication. From a strategic perspective, the timing of this claim is also noteworthy. Late December is a period when diplomatic channels often become quieter due to holidays. Releasing such a statement now ensures maximum attention as global leaders prepare for the coming year. It also sets the tone for Russia's approach moving forward. By linking the alleged attack to a review of negotiations, Moscow appears to be signaling that patience may be running out. The broader international reaction has been cautious. Western governments have not immediately endorsed Russia's version of events. Instead, officials have called for restraint and emphasized the need for verified information. NATO countries are closely monitoring the situation, aware that any major escalation could have far-reaching consequences. The European Union, already dealing with economic and security pressures linked to the war, is particularly concerned about further instability. Another important aspect of this situation is the psychological dimension. Claims involving attacks on a leader's residence can strongly influence public opinion. Within Russia, such statements may increase a sense of external threat and rally domestic support for tougher measures. In Ukraine, they may be seen as part of a broader narrative battle. Globally, they raise fears of a miscalculation where actions taken based on assumptions rather than facts could spiral out of control. History offers many examples where wars escalated due to disputed incidents. From the Gulf of Tonkin to more recent conflicts, allegations and counter-allegations have often played a decisive role. That is why international observers are emphasizing the need for transparency and independent assessment. Without clear evidence, accusations risk deepening mistrust and closing doors to dialogue. If Russia decides to respond militarily to this alleged incident, the conflict could enter a new and more dangerous phase. Potential responses could range from intensified strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure to changes in Russia's military doctrine. Diplomatic consequences are also possible, including further strain on already fragile channels of communication. On the other hand, if this claim remains unsubstantiated, it may gradually fade, though the damage to trust will remain. The situation also highlights the evolving nature of modern warfare. Drones have become central tools in conflicts around the world. They are relatively inexpensive, difficult to detect, and capable of striking deep behind enemy lines. This reality complicates defense planning and raises new ethical and legal questions. The alleged use of drones against a head of state's residence, if true, would mark a significant development in this trend. Ultimately, the truth of what happened on December 28 and 29 may take time to emerge, if it emerges at all. What is clear is that the statement by Russia's foreign minister has already altered the political landscape. It has injected new tension into an already volatile situation, and it has reminded the world just how fragile the balance remains. As global attention turns toward Moscow's next steps, one thing is certain. Any misjudgment now could have consequences far beyond the borders of Russia and Ukraine. The international community faces a familiar but urgent challenge: how to prevent escalation while seeking clarity. Disclaimer: this video is intended solely for informational and analytical purposes. The views presented do not represent support for or opposition to any country, government, or political leader. For continued updates and in-depth analysis on global affairs, stay connected, because in times of uncertainty, understanding the facts matters more than ever.